Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The narrative essay, an introduction. This audio presentation will focus on the following items. What is a narrative essay? What goes into the introduction of a narrative essay? What goes into the body paragraph or paragraphs of a narrative essay? What goes into its conclusion? And finally, we will have a writing practice. We'll write a 3-paragraph essay that uses narration as a method of development. The first question that we have to consider here is, what is a narrative essay? Number one, it is an essay which tells a story. This is the basic thing about such essays. They tell stories. Number two, the writer, that is you, can tell us about a personal experience, your own personal experience, or you can tell us about another person's personal experience, or you can just report the incidents and events that we can read about in a certain novel, in a certain short story, in a play, or let's say even the events of a movie you've watched. In all of these cases, you are trying to tell us a story. And the most important thing also, that the writer can write a narrative essay which concentrates on events, setting, theme, or even a character. Now, it's true that you will be telling us about certain events, but basically these events will develop to tell us also about a certain setting, a particular theme you want to discuss, or you are concentrating on showing us the qualities of a certain character, your own qualities, let's say, while you were facing a particular experience, or your own feelings and emotions, etc., or anybody else you've been writing about. Second question, which is of importance here, what goes into the introduction of a narrative essay. And we have to put it into mind also that, as all essays we've been discussing earlier, a narrative essay should have an introduction, a body paragraph, one body paragraph or more, it's up to you, and finally a conclusion. And remember, as in all essays, your introduction should contain certain elements. You have to include the same elements that any essay should have. I mean the introduction of any essay. The hook, a catchy statement, or a number of statements that will attract the reader's attention to your topic. Some connecting information that will tie your hook to what comes later, that is to the thesis. And finally, by the end of this paragraph, you have to include your thesis. And of course, your thesis here should be developed according to the content of your essay. So definitely your thesis should tell the reader right from the start, right from the beginning, that you are going to tell a story. The following question is, what goes into the body paragraph or paragraphs of a narrative essay? Now, as you are telling a story, then the body of your essay, or the body of course will contain one paragraph or more. It depends on the length of the story you are telling. Of course, this body will contain the events, major ones or minor ones. It's up to you. If you want to develop it and write, let's say, a 10-paragraph essay, a 5-paragraph essay, then you will go on and tell us about some minor events that you find interesting and which will develop your point of view. Also, a very important thing in narrative essays is that they contain lots of descriptions of places and people. Remember when we've said that we can tell stories that describe settings, describe characters, describe events. Now, to describe these events or settings or places or people, we have to use lots and lots of adjectives. Also, you have to tell the reader about who does a certain action in your story, where a particular action takes place, when such an action, let's say, take place, why a particular event happens. These are the elements or the questions we ask ourselves when we try to tell a story or narrate a story to a certain person. And when you write an essay as an answer for a question, let's say in drama or a drama course or a fiction course, you will have to supply the instructor with the answers to these questions. Who was the hero, for instance? Where such an action happened? When did it happen? Why does it happen? Why a particular character reacted in a certain way, etc. In this way, you will develop your essay, and you will have a point to pursue throughout your body paragraph or paragraphs. Then we have to ask ourselves this question: what goes into the conclusion of your narrative essay? Now, you can just narrate the ending of your story. Keep the final events that narrate the end till the conclusion paragraph, and you provide me with these events there to conclude your essay. Or you can keep the conclusion for a discussion of a moral or a lesson. You want to tell me, after telling this story, that there is something good which comes out of it, and of course this lesson or moral is very important to you, that you need to explicate it and explain it for the reader to benefit from it as well. Or your conclusion can reveal a discovery. Let's say, for instance, that you were writing about how one of your friends told you one day that you failed a particular course. And you told me throughout the essay about what kind of feelings you had, what happened to you when you received the news, and all these things that are related to the emotional response you had when you received such a news. And finally, in the conclusion, you tell me, for instance, that all these emotional feelings and the depression and everything that happened to you terminated suddenly when you discovered that your friend was playing a practical joke on you, and that you didn't fail the course, and let's say that you in fact passed the course brilliantly, etc., etc. So you reveal something, you tell us about something which we didn't expect, or the reader wouldn't expect, and which the rest of your essay will not allude to even. So in the conclusion, we will have this revelation or discovery, and this revelation or discovery aspect we find a lot in fictional works. When you, for instance, discover at the end of the novel that this lost orphan, etc., etc., was in fact the son of a lord or an aristocrat, etc. So you'll have this conclusion that will highlight a new and striking event that changes everything in the work and for you in the essay you've been writing.